I know you did. Welcome, people. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. This is what? Wind Down Wednesday. And we are back in this mother sucker. Let me tell you, bright and early, late in the midnight hour. God's gonna turn it around. And he already turned it around for 2022.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Because we are happy to be in the building one more time. You know how that song go? One more time. We're just happy to be in the building.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all the viewers.
Happy New Year. Yes. Welcome back, good people. Always good to see y'all. Y'all know who I am. I'm Sandy. There's really no need for an introduction, but I'm Sandy, and welcome back to 2022, people. It's been a great year. It's been, for me, it has been anyway, because I retired. So it's been a beautiful time. And it's still beautiful. I'm still enjoying life. Matter of fact, I'm sitting here with my girl.
Y'all already know how we do it. It's Trinice. It's Wind Down Wednesday. We do the same thing, same time, same place. What's up? Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you to all our viewers tuning in.
To everybody, because y'all know what time is it? What time is it? It's time to talk some business to y'all. But how your week been before we get into that?
It's been good, very good. I had a good New Year. How about yourself? It was
great.
Quick. It was relaxing, so I can't complain about that. And we stayed away from folks that had COVID. So yeah, I'm good.
I don't know how we're gonna do all that, staying away from people, but we do the best we can.
Well, we did for New Year's.
We work on it. We work on it. You know, my thing is, my week was great. What I didn't like is they canceled church. Y'all know, folks, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian. You know, I do go to church and I praise Jesus. And I was kind of mad they closed church on New Year's Eve. But I get it. But I always say, where's your faith? They say, all you gotta do is say have faith of a mustard seed now. So
that's it.
We try to tell all the deacons, missionaries, saints, and friends that it's all good. So welcome, people. It's Wind Down Wednesday. Y'all know what we've been dealing with for the longest. Yeah. You know how we've been dealing with this thing. What's going on, our king?
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, you on time. By time you done tuned in on time.
Yeah.
Welcome. You know what time it is. We know what time it is. But y'all know what we've been dealing with for the last, 3 years now. And this thing going on 3 years?
Just about almost.
It's about 3 years. Y'all know how it is. And tonight, when we start this thing out, we want to start doing something different. But we want to start with bringing you information that some of y'all don't know because we don't know. We're not experts at this. This is just what we do. We learn as we go. We like doing this because we like bringing you information. We like bringing you people that can tell you and explain to you more than what we can, because we're professionals in one way, but we are bringing you bona fide professionals to talk about what is happening with the educational system versus the pandemic, because I know, we know it's been a struggle, not just for us. I've been blessed because my daughter is not in school. You got kids that are in school. You got a daughter that's in school.
Yeah.
And it's got to be very difficult. It's one thing that we are dealing with, stuff that we're dealing with now, but it's another one that when you are in the system, you are there with those kids every single day.
Intermingling, interacting. She's in sports, so it's like you can't get away from it. A lot of the students now are being vaccinated. So but still, people still getting sick. So there's a lot of folks that are asymptomatic. So it's just, you just gotta take it a little bit at a time. As you see, I always wear my mask. I protect myself. I protect others. So I'm everywhere. Sometimes I gotta be reminded that I still got the mask on. You at home? You in the house? You can take it off now.
And
my
that's
bad,
it.
I forgot.
Exactly, right.
So I've gotten into the habit of just having it on because I have to protect myself.
So we're trying to sit here. No, we're not trying to sit here. We are sitting here.
Hey AJ, thanks for
tuning in. Thanks AJ for tuning in. Happy New Year to you too. Yes. We're about to bring you guys some professional individuals that can sit here and help discuss some of the issues that we see and that we hear are happening in the educational system.
Yes.
So good people, all you boys and girls, tell everybody to tune in, share this. We are live on YouTube and we are also live on Facebook.
Yeah.
So make sure you share this with everybody.
Like it, comment, please comment. We do love for you to comment if you have questions or concerns. That's why we bring different viewers on, from a different perspective. They're in the education field. So if you have questions, please share them. We would love to get your questions answered the best way we know how to.
So in the meantime, in the between time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome my friends, my sisters, Renee and Kelly.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome, ladies.
What's going
Happy
on,
New
y'all?
Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year, everybody.
Thank you. We appreciate you taking the time out to come in your busy schedules to talk to us and the people tonight about education versus the pandemic. So at the end of the day, y'all know, we don't know because we're not dealing with it. But before we get into the details and the questions, I'm gonna let y'all know they're my friends right there. They're my educated friends. And I'm gonna let them tell you all about themselves. Hey, Renee, why don't you go first and tell the people who you are and what you do?
Currently, I'm a 5th grade reading teacher. I'm a evaluator for the school district and a credentialing evaluator for the school district and a mentor to teachers in the residential education program. I also have worked 5 or 6 years at Children's Hospital as a mental health specialist. So I am trained to deal with our situation that we're in right now.
Okay,
And
so
I'm a graduate from Xavier University too. So
okay, go X. So you're born and raised in Cincinnati.
I am born and raised in Cincinnati. Yes.
So did you go to a Cincinnati public school?
I did not. I went to Mount Healthy.
Oh, okay, that's still a public school, girl. It still count. You know, we always try to give credit
That's right.
to the public school.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, we do.
It ain't
Yes,
private.
we
You didn't
do.
have to spend no money. And
No, I
I
didn't.
just want you to know, your
Teresa.
friend said boo to Xavier. That's all I'm saying. She just said boo to Xavier. But you know, that's T-Chef. So
I love
thank
her.
you, Renee.
I love her.
Appreciate you for being with us tonight.
Yeah.
And another thing that you didn't tell the people, but aren't you a part of belong to something?
I am a Zeta Phi Beta. I am
Okay.
in the Zeta Phi Beta sorority.
Kelly, okay, we see Kelly shaking her head,
Oh,
but
snap.
now it's Kelly's turn. It is
Tell us-
Kelly's
tell us
turn
who you
to
are.
introduce herself and let the people know who you are,
Yes.
Kelly.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kelly Roselle. I'm a graduate of Central State University. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Oh, wow.
I am a product of Cincinnati Public Schools.
All right.
I went to Purcell prior to actually graduating from a Cincinnati public school, so I did have that experience. I am currently the director of alternative programs for Winton Woods City Schools. This is my 31st year in education, so I've seen a lot, but this pandemic is something totally different. What else would you like to know, Tucker?
Your dad was a phenomenal individual and well known in the city of Cincinnati. Is that not correct?
Yes, my dad was an educator and the athletic director for Taft High School. And he had a lot to do with some of the things that happened in the West End as it related to the growth of Taft and the changes that you saw Taft go through. Now it's a little different, and it's going to be interesting to see what direction they actually move in, because I don't think we have all the facts on that, and we're going to talk about that at another time. But I have been in education or exposed to education my entire life. Both of my parents were educators. My mother was also an educator in Cincinnati Public. She went out on disability from Hillcrest, the special program that they had in Wyoming for troubled youngsters. So I've been around this thing my entire life, really. So
I must say you have. Going right into that, is that I take it that's the reason why you became an educator yourself, is because, I mean, pretty much you were surrounded by it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My mother left with 30 years. My dad left with after 35 years, but continued to work with Taft. Until he couldn't. So if you had to count on a calendar, you could say 50 years or more for him.
Wow.
So Renee, what made you get into the educational system?
My father is also an educator. He was the principal at Holmes High School in Covington, Kentucky. He's actually the first Black principal in the state of Kentucky.
All
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
I was surrounded by education all my life. So
Okay, so you ain't the person that I thought you were, but we're gonna, we'll wait a minute and talk about that on the backside. Just want to let you know, Kelly, that your girl AJ said hello, Kelly. Kelly, AJ is one of our faithful viewers. She watches every day. So let's get right down into the nitty gritty. So as we saw today, for those that are looking far and near, so UC shut down today because of the pandemic. You guys Kelly worked in Whitten Woods School District, and Renee works for Cincinnati Public School District. I didn't know this until I spoke with Kelly yesterday. Whitten Woods follow footsteps when it comes to closing schools. Is that right, Kelly? It's based on what CPS does.
A lot of times we do follow the lead of CPS. The thing is, Cincinnati Public is a much larger district than we are, but we tend to follow the same protocols that they do. At this point, to my knowledge, Cincinnati Public has not made a decision. They had a discussion at their board meeting on Monday, and the COVID's next steps were high on the agenda, but they've not made an official decision. We have not made a decision, but I did see on the news this morning that Mount Healthy has decided to go with the 2 weeks virtual and pending, and they'll see what their numbers look like, and they'll make a decision at that point. But we have not made a decision.
So with all of that being said, Renee, you're really close to what takes place, and you are. Your cousin said hello, and that she's extremely proud of you. She's watching. So make sure you don't disappoint her, and
I know, right?
and represent the way that you know.
My retired cousin, yes.
Hey, way to go, cousin! Congratulations. So you know what's going on with going off of what Kelly said. Where is Cincinnati Public Schools right now when it comes to how they're going to operate with the pandemic? Because they used to do an off and on 2 days here or 1 day here or switch or whatever. Yeah. Have they thought or considered going back to that?
Nothing has been said about that. At this point, from what I understand, I believe 2 Cincinnati public schools are closed. They will go virtual. Not sure their schedule. We are preparing for virtual. I think I'm allowed to say that. We got a letter today. So we're to take our laptops home. Children are to make sure they have all their devices, their extension cords, and teachers are to more or less rehearse. This is what it's going to look like when you're at home. This is how we're going to log on. This is our schedule. So we are preparing, but we at the same time, the reading teachers have to get testing in. So it's
so question for you both. Do you feel like if you had to go virtual again, that it would be an easier process this time than the first time around?
I'm not going to say easier, because the students struggle with that framework and format, period, because of the supervisory piece and just the inability to self-motivate and do what they need to do. Is it going to be easier for the adults? Maybe so, because we've had a little practice. But kids are just that. They're pretty resilient, and they will make adjustments if that is what they want to do. But I think that motivational piece is big, and that social piece is really, really, really big for them. So they struggle with that virtual component all day, every day.
I agree 100%. Exactly.
And I'm gonna speak to that as well, because my daughter, she struggled, and there's a lot of kids. I worked with kids with behavior issues as well. And I'm pretty sure it won't be as challenging, but I'm hoping that, I don't know if you guys have any information on it or not, but that there'll be other, like some programs, because a lot of kids are more built to being set up into the classroom. You know, that being in that classroom environment really helps, you know, them to put things into perspective. And so, do you know, or are you a part of the process of, if a virtual has to happen, some ideas of the things some of the kids can do to kind of get away from, you know, the distractions of not being able to be in the classroom, being involved. And I know even that being back at school is a great routine for a lot of the kids, but it keeps them out of a lot of trouble. It keeps them fed, etc.
Kelly, you are a part of the administration at Wynn Woods. How much input does the administration have with the board when it comes to whether or not you guys are going to go virtual or not virtual, or what's in the best interest of the student? Because everybody, as I know with CPS, everybody's shorthanded with staff. So how much input does the administrators have with the Board of Ed out there at Wynn Woods?
Well, they're constantly tracking attendance, daily attendance for staff versus that attendance of students. And that is what's going to drive a lot of these decisions, because you start to get into safety issues. When you have a lot of adults out of the equation, then it becomes problematic, because there has to be a ratio for supervision that's safe, that makes it a safe environment. So you can't continue to lean on IAs and anticipate that they will help cover classes. You can't anticipate that office personnel is in a position where they can cover classes. Central office employees, they can't cover class. You know what I mean? That's just not a good look. And there's certain legal things that have to be addressed. So all of these factors have to be considered when they prepare to make these decisions. What you said about students with behavior issues, that's a major piece, because those students with disabilities, there are some things that are specifically outlined in their plans. And in a virtual environment, that is almost impossible to do or manage if you're in that type of environment. So all of these things have to be considered. And I know it puts parents in a bad situation a lot of times, because if you have younger kids, no, you can't. You're not anticipating those kids being at home during the day. You're expecting for them to be at school, you go to work, and there's something else going on in the afternoon. But then we shift gears and say that those young people are going to be at home alone. Who's going to supervise? Then you got to start talking about childcare issues and all of that. And then you flip the coin on the other side. There are students that you have to know they're coming to school to be warm, to get a meal. So a lot of this stuff is just really, really, really a strain on the entire system, not just the teachers or the students, the parents. It's everybody. It's everybody in this thing.
The adjustment. How has the adjustment been? Because this ain't the first time that this has occurred. Do you feel like this time is worse than the first time? Now, everybody was confused on the first one. The left didn't know what the right was doing. The front didn't know what the back was doing. I mean, from A to Z, nobody really knew. Do you think, looking at it right now, that they have a better grip, a better grasp at what to do right now? Because honestly, it don't seem like it. Because I don't really think they know what they're doing. Now, I could be wrong.
Listen to me. Listen to me when I tell you this.
I attended the Board of Education meeting the other day, and I'm going to tell you, I sat in front of those men and women, and especially the newly elected, and they have a plan, and they are constantly working on a plan. So they are in a better position than they were the first time we went out. They really are.
So
we got some questions coming in.
Carolyn says hello. She's one of avid. And then I guess you guys can relate to this, because kids are becoming sick. Not only the kids, but staff is becoming sick. Yeah. And that's why there's a limit, or the teachers, you don't have enough staff members. And then Belinda Brooks. Hey, Belinda, thanks for tuning in. She got a question for you, Renee. At what advisement or tools parents can use to assist their students? Secondly, How do you stay in touch with the parents? Now, let me say this. Both of y'all can answer that question, but it was posed to you. So your answer, Kelly, may help her, and then your answer to Renee may help her, as well as other people that are listening. So answer that question, Renee. Do I need to put it back up?
Yes. The advice or the tools that I would give parents in order to help their students is to stay involved right now. Be sure to have phone numbers of the teacher, not the main office or not the board. They're not directly in touch with your baby. So be sure you have all the information you need right now, today, in the event we do go out and go virtual. And yes, me personally, me and my coworker, we have a system. We contact parents, and I contact parents, at least 5 or 6 parents a week, where I'm covering all parents in a month. So, and all the parents have my cell phone number. I've been doing this 23 years, and for 23 years, for 30 something years, I've had the same phone number. So my 32-year-olds can reach me. Um, so I've never had an issue. I know some people don't like giving their personal numbers out, but it works for me.
This is the thing. Education is what we do. And it's really about relationships. And it's times like this when you're going to appreciate those relationships, because it's very valuable that a student can say, hey, I have my teacher's cell phone number. I've been at this a long time, and kids, parents have my cell phone number. Right in through here, it makes you feel a little better if you can actually reach somebody. Having the number to the office is not going to do you any good because they may not answer. So having your teacher or the person that is directly impacting your child at hand's reach where you can dial and get in touch with them, that speaks volumes. There needs to be a plan. Parents need to know that there is going to be communication back and forth, and that is the expectation that you set, be it cell phone, text message, if you're going to email, but you have to have lines of communication open because everybody's a little unsettled. This is not a comfort zone. Even though we're coming back around doing it again, people are not comfortable with this format at all. They're not. Kids are not. Teachers are not. Parents are not. It is very touchy. And the only thing I can say about it is this. At the end of the day, kids are probably not going to get what they need out of it. And we're talking about over 2 years and educational loss as a result of this pandemic. So these kids are going to be behind. Even the best students are going to be behind because it's a lot. It's really a lot to deal with.
So, Hush Kugo, that big old dog over there barking.
We got some comments coming in.
Carolyn says, thanks, Renee and Kelly. This is it harder working with the younger parents as compared to working with those parents, especially during COVID? It's always hard to work with parents, period. Let's just say that. Yeah. It's hard working with parents. It don't matter. COVID wasn't even here, and it's still hard working with parents. But is it harder working with
the younger
parents as opposed to those that are more senior veteran parents that have had kids in school prior to now? So this is different.
It's a different time.
I'm running into the average household of young parents. And when I say a young parent, I'm talking about a parent under 35. So I'm running into 5, maybe 6 on average, the average number of children in the house. And then we deal with internet, and the bandwidth that the district has provided to our families is not wide enough to handle 5 laptops, the smart TVs in the house, the cell phones in the house, the computers in the house. So what do you do with a young parent with 7 children? Right? With even 4 children. I had 2 in my house, and it was hard. So,
and just think about that. You're a professional. You had a handle on it, so to speak. So that has to be overwhelming, number one.
Had to be.
Overwhelming. And then you got to think about the old adage, when you know better, you can do better. There was no script for this. There was no script. So when you start talking about the technology piece, everybody's not comfortable with that. And then you got all of this stuff going on, and the school is expecting you, the parent, to make sure that each one of these kids is set up to do what they need to do. That's not realistic. It was not realistic. So it was just a lot going on that was beyond people's control. And people were just getting along to get along. That's what it boiled down to. So whether or not appropriate educational things were going on, I can't say that it was. Were people logging on? Absolutely. Were they getting what they were supposed to be getting? I wouldn't dare put my paycheck on that. I just wouldn't. It was too many factors that you couldn't control. It was way too many.
And the other big part about this is I would like to be able to see if you are being fed, if you are stressing about something, or you're dealing with homelessness. We have a large population dealing with homelessness. And in doing that, they're sleeping on a friend's or a family's couch.
Yep.
So you have blended families trying to learn.
Yep.
Okay, so not the kid that's couch surfing, not that one. What about the one the family is staying in the hotel?
Yeah,
exactly.
Or it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
And this pandemic does not help the situation. Veronica said this is a wonderful conversation. She wished that it was a bigger forum and more people. Veronica, we would like to let you know you can share this.
Yeah,
you can share it. You know,
have a watch party, listening party.
Yeah, share it now with your friends.
They can tune in.
Copy paste it to their link to their site. It's even on YouTube. You can send the people over to YouTube and they can watch it there too. We appreciate you watching. But the thing about it is, this pandemic is no joke. And the thing about it is, I am thankful and grateful that my child is no longer in high school or elementary school or any kind of school, because I would be a wreck, because y'all know how I am. Y'all know my attention span is like that. I'm ADHD, CDD, FD, and elemental P. Because it's hard for me. So I can imagine how difficult it is for you guys. Now, when we're talking about the pandemic and education, how do you feel? Now, you don't have to answer. Let me let y'all know this. You don't have to answer any kind of questions that we ask you. You can say no, or you can say, hey, call the lawyer for that district and they'll be able to tell you.
Nobody in trouble.
Right. Do you feel it's necessary for everybody in the school system, including teachers, to be vaccinated? How do you feel about the vaccination? Do you feel that may be some of the issues why it's short staffed, because those that are sick or say they ain't coming because they don't want to be exposed to the virus? So how do you guys feel about being it mandatory for?
It's not mandatory.
It's no longer mandatory. Exactly.
It never was mandatory. It was highly recommended. It was highly recommended.
This is what I say. It never was mandatory for anybody to take the flu shot either. Teachers never had to take the flu shot. The flu was still out there and everybody was still getting, but it's not as potent as this virus is. So how do you guys feel about the vaccination?
I think we should all be vaccinated. I'm triple vaccinated right now, but while I'm saying that, I have a coworker who's suffering from COVID who's triple vaccinated a second time. He's caught COVID a second time. So, yes.
It's folks that's passing, that's vaccinated, and it's folks that's passing that's not vaccinated. So it's just like catch-22.
I just don't like when they say the word mandatory.
Yeah,
it's your choice. But in the profession that we're in, very much like healthcare, your exposure and your percentage, it's up here. It's way up here. Why wouldn't you get vaccinated? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to argue with anybody. I'm not going to beat a drum. I'm not going to do any of that. But my other issue is this. I'm not too sure they're telling us all the facts because clearly I'm vaccinated and boosted. I've not had it. I had it the first go around Thanksgiving last year. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. However, if you're telling us, go get this, go get this, go get this, and people are still getting it, that tells me you don't have a handle on this like you say you do. So I am just trusting, because I am a spiritual person, I'm trusting that everything is going to work out and I'm going to be okay. But then you have your conspiracy theorists that think it's going to be some foolishness down the road. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But for my own personal safety, why wouldn't I?
Right.
If I'm exposed to all of these kids, you put that, send them home. They're exposed to all of their family members. They're all over the place. So I'm opening myself up to it. So it only makes sense that the people in education get it. But if they don't think it's necessary, hey, that's on them. But if they tell me to get a shot again, I'm gonna get a shot again. If they tell me to get a shot again, I'm gonna get a shot again. I mean, you gotta do what's in your best interest. I can't speak for anybody else.
Gotcha. And Carolyn made a statement earlier when we were talking about the individuals that are suffering, those that are homeless or got to sleep in the hotel or got to lay in a car. I mean, and don't just have the access to a lot of other things. You look at the Hispanic population, they're probably, I don't know, they're suffering just as much as the other individuals are, because taking a computer home and having your mom or dad trying to help you learn on a computer.
And they probably 9 times out of 10 don't really know a whole lot of English, if any.
That's what I was going to say. You put all of this on the table, and then you start talking about the language barrier. Right. Can you imagine how much anxiety that could be?
Yes.
You're in a totally different culture, a different place. There's a different language, and then you throw this in the mix. That it's a lot. It is.
Well, and we have the illiterate parent too. So
yes. The parent that don't know as much. I don't like that word, Renee. I'm sorry.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a parent that don't know. The parent that don't know as much. I mean, you know.
If you walk like a duck and
well, no. Okay, wait a minute. Let's just say this. A parent that's got an IEP. Okay, can we just say that? Because there are some parents with IEPs too.
There we go.
I'm just saying.
Kelly said, "Mom's the word."
Hey, and Belinda said vaccination should keep you out of the hospital and in the living.
And that's what they.
And that's normally what it's about. I mean, but technically, it is keeping you alive if you got the booster, and if you got the booster, you ain't dead because you survived. Now, without the vaccination and the booster, you're suffering a little bit. You might make it out, you might not. My thing is, don't go to the hospital for nothing. I don't even want to go to the hospital just to visit you. I'll see you through the window. That's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to step up in there because they probably got more germs.
That's where it's breeding.
They're not on the street.
That's where it's breeding.
But thanks, Belinda, and thank you for your comments. Now, my other thing to you guys is that how is it affecting you all
and your family?
You know, mentally. How does that affect you? Because you got to be out there. You guys are going to school every day. You're going in the building every single day to the unknown because you don't know. How is it affecting your mental state? And when you go in there, because I know y'all dealing with people that don't want to take the vaccination. They sit right there and tell you they ain't taking it. So how you all dealing with that yourselves as educational individuals?
Kelly made a good point.
Which part?
When you said we are faced with, well, in my situation, I have 27 children in a classroom. So no, we're not socially distanced, not even 3 feet. But those 20, I'm faced with 60 at different times, right? But then, like Kelly said, them 60 are going home to their families. And then that environment, and then come back to me 5 days a week for 6 hours.
This is how I deal with it. I try not to consider all of those what ifs, because when you start doing that, you get a little paranoid and you kind of trip a little bit. So I try to just go to work every day, do what I need to do, keep my mask on, constantly sanitize and clean my hands, constantly wipe off my desk, constantly wipe off my computer, constantly wipe off my phone. I don't know what else to do because, like I said, you can't control other people. You control the factors that you can control, and that's the end of it. That's the end of it. In our
have you
district,
walked in the cafeteria?
No, we don't have cafeterias anymore in Winton Woods. We have distributive dining where they have areas where they can go. So they can pretty much move all over the place. Once they've gotten their food in their trays, they can go outside. It's seating booths and stuff all over the place, learning stairs where they can go eat. We don't do the cafeteria thing anymore. We haven't for a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
So
we have about 100 children in the cafeteria with no mask on eating in Target.
Even when they are eating, we still have the plexiglass partitions up and you know, kind of trying to separate them, but it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Yeah. But that's where the problem lies. My thing is, let me ask you this question. Now, you don't have to answer this one either. Do you feel like you're getting the proper support that you need now from the administration? Because I'm sorry, Kelly, you're an administrator, and the board. Do you feel like you're getting, and let's go a little bit further, the union. Do you feel like you're getting enough support because you're consistently going to work every day because you want to see these kids do better and be better?
I do. I think we are. We're getting a lot of support. Quite a bit of money has been spent to make sure that we have the supplies that we need, all of that. And this is what I'm going to say about that. When you start talking about support from the union and all these other things, the unions are the groups of people that put into place how this COVID protocol was going to roll out. My only concern is, just like with anything else, people take advantage. Do you think all the people that are out absent are really COVID? Some of them were saying, shh, they can't ask me no questions. Yeah, I got symptoms. Yeah, somebody in my house got it. I mean, so there are certain people that are going to take advantage of situations just because they can.
You know, Kelly, that just never crossed my mind that somebody would claim COVID.
Where you been?
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me, Renee? Are you kidding me?
So serious.
It's really,
I promise.
Listen to me.
Why would you claim COVID?
It's not that they're claiming COVID. They're using the protocol to their advantage. They're using that as an excuse.
Okay.
Because think about it, that whole HIPAA thing, nobody can really ask you too many questions. You can say something as simple as, I think I was exposed, or I'm having symptoms. That's it. Nobody can ask you anything else. Ball game. You can stay home, and that's it.
That's true. But
you get that every day?
I guess I live in some other land. I don't know.
That's what. What did I tell y'all? Wait till the show is over and tell y'all about Renee.
Lord have mercy.
But you're absolutely correct.
Hold on. We're educators. We are here for children. Children
exactly
are our priority. There's no way I'm going to call into work and say I'm sick and I'm not. Come on.
Okay.
People do that. Once again,
just as much as they do just as much as they'll lie and say they don't have it, so many people will lie to say that they do just to get out of something.
Carolyn say if you sneeze or coughing, just don't come in the building. But you could be coughing behind a mask. But you know, we gonna cough, we gonna sneeze.
And you know, everything is not COVID.
Everything ain't COVID.
Allergy, some things is just a common
it's cold and flu season. It's cold and flu season.
Exactly.
But once again, you are absolutely correct, AJ. The one magical word is symptoms. And if
and that looks different for everybody. I mean, also there was a lady who had it. She said just her back was hurting. So I mean, how it looks for one person, it doesn't look that way for another. So you know, it's Russian roulette basically. You know, every day taking a chance. When you go to the grocery store, you're taking a chance.
And that's the unfortunate piece, that you do have But let's think about it. There are those individuals that are teaching and that are educators that right now, they just want that paycheck. They just want the insurance. They just want to be able to say, I'm getting paid. Because if they do say they got symptoms, that's 10, 14 days that they really don't have to come to work, which is putting you guys at
more of a strain.
At a strain. And when that happens, with both of you all now knowing that there's a shortage with teachers, even substitute, because don't nobody want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody want to come into the buildings. Don't nobody want to come to work because they got paid sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. So they want to go back to that. Why would anybody want to come in the building? With that being said, when that happens in your building and you have a low number of staff, how do you handle that? Do you bundle them all up in one room? How do you take care of that? That's hard. Renee, you just said you got 27. That's too many kids in one room.
I took half of our fourth grade because two of our teachers, I don't know why they were out, but they weren't at school. And we split them between the two fifth grade classes. So we had half of a class of fourth graders on top of our fifth graders.
This is when you utilize your gymnasiums, your libraries, all at the larger spaces where you can have a lot of kids in one place at one time, and you have some supervisors in there. But that's not what they're supposed to be doing. That's not. But for safety and supervision, that's what they're doing to get from one day to the next. Now, that's why I'm saying we have to make some decisions and figure out how we're going to move forward, because that is not appropriate. It's just not.
No, and it's a catch-22, like AJ said.
AJ said it's a catch-22.
You know, they telling you the protocol, you got to do it this way, but you can't do it this way because I don't got enough people to do it this way. You know, all of those things have to be considered.
And then Carolyn said, when you walk in the building for the nurse, you got a sheet to fill out. If you fill that sheet out that you sneezed or your eyeball hurting, then they probably gonna send you back home. I mean, it's just that simple. And Belinda had a question. Belinda wanted to know, with both of y'all working in two separate districts, are they providing the N95 masks? Because those are the masks that they are truly recommending that everybody should wear. Now, honestly, my friends sitting up here with a cloth mask on, they say don't even wear them because those are no good.
Absolutely.
I double up. I put two masks on when I'm out in the public. Everywhere I go, I got two masks on. I don't have
those
one.
Are the better masks, because one, I like it because they're off of your face. They're not touching your lips and all of that. So it's a little better, but those are not the masks that are provided by our district. Our district gives out the very simple ones that come from the hospital. God, I got boxes in my car.
Yeah.
But the very simple ones, because those are inexpensive and they're easier to get.
Yeah.
Last spring and into the summer, Ford Motor Company gave us some like that for smaller kids. They were white. Of course, it was an opportunity for Ford to advertise. So across the top, it had Ford in cursive across the top, and they're a lot smaller for smaller faces. But those N95s, they're not providing those because they're more expensive and a little harder to get a hold to.
I know, because if you buy them anywhere else for 10 of them, it costs you about $50 just for 10.
Yeah.
When you can go get 1,000 of those that Renee just showed, you can get 1,000 of them for about $20. You know,
put 7 of them on.
You know, exactly. You know. And I double up with those.
I double up when
I do have N95 masks. I got, I put that on, and I put the regular mask like Renee just showed. I put that one on too. Just depends on where I'm going, but I'm always double mask. I will put 2 masks on in a heartbeat. And then not only that, baby, I'm walking around with my microband. I went to the hairstylist. I got my hair cut the other day. Had my double mask on. And then I told her, that Lysol you got on your shelf, I need you to spray me with it before I walk out this door, front and back. I mean, you just got to be safe. My thing is, I'm going to go back to what Belinda said. Public schools are different from the suburban schools.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's money and no money. So they're going to give you those cloth masks or those masks that Renee just showed because they do. They got a boatload of them. I was talking to somebody that worked for Princeton School District just the other day. She was telling me this is the difference between suburban, and urban. Okay, in the hood school. She said they got a whole slew full of wipes, disinfectant wipes. I mean, like a whole room full of them. Princeton School District that they don't even use all the time because they got so many of them. Why is it that the public schools can't get, well, CPS? I'm just going to go there with y'all because obviously it appears that when Wood's getting what they need from Mr. Smith, because he got Ford Motor Company giving him probably whatever he wants. As well as AT&T and Cincinnati Bell and anybody else. But
CPS is stocked with masks and cleaning and wipes and sprays. We've not run out. Or at least
do they do it every day? I mean, because let me tell you something else.
Who do it every day?
Do your custodians, because let me say this, you as well as Kelly know, I got connections with CPS. I know a lot of people with CPS. I've worked for CPS and I still worked with them before I retired. And I still talk to teachers.
And why our custodians don't do that unless if I call in and say I believe I've been infected or exposed or a kid threw up in my class, then they'll come and spray this mist or something in there. But no, they are not wiping down my students wipe down my desk.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people have gotten just so relaxed and days elastical, and that's when you just can't.
AJ says she got choked on her coffee and got sent home. God bless you, girl. God bless you. You should have told them it's because you sprayed too much microban and it got in your nose. That's what you said.
Hey, nowadays if you got a tickle in your throat, you know what I'm saying, you just gotta hold it because everybody gonna be looking like, hold on now, wait a
minute. And I was talking to a teacher that worked for CPS, and she told me, she's normally one of those like you all, wipe your room down, spray it down, or do whatever. But she said that there was some popcorn on the floor, and she came back in 2 or 3 days later, and the popcorn was still there. That means you ain't been in my room.
You ain't been cleaning.
That means the garbage was still in her garbage can. So
did I get lax?
I'm gonna ask you both of this. I'm gonna ask you all both. This question is for both.
There's a shortage. There's a shortage
of custodians. That's what I wanted to know. Do y'all not have enough custodians to come work at the school?
It's just like everything else. Custodial staff is stressed. Transportation, stressed. Everybody, the entire system is really stretched, really stretched out. So are you getting the service you should be getting? Absolutely not, because you don't have the manpower and the bodies to execute. So think back to how it was last year. What was that big thing they were talking about, that 360 Clorox machine that was supposed to come in your room?
Right, exactly. That's what they
did that every day.
Yeah, what happened to that?
We don't.
That's what they're asking. And inquiring minds want to know.
So next question. What you say, Renee?
Last year, I had a shower curtain from the ceiling to the floor surrounding my perimeter of my desk. So effective teaching, is that effective? No, I didn't come out my bubble until everybody left.
I know that's right.
Okay,
I was scared.
My friend, hey Teresa, thanks for tuning in.
Here we go with our friend again, Renee. She said my principal had to substitute today because we can't get subs. I mean,
and you talked about that, Kelly.
Well, at least she stepped up and subbed. I mean, that's good.
I mean, everybody got to do their part, I guess. You can't ever get to the position where you think that you cannot do it.
Yep.
So my
that's
question,
fine, but you can't expect that to become the norm.
The norm.
Administrators have administrative work to do. That's why they're not teachers anymore.
But so has it become the norm? Has that become the norm?
It's not, but it happens more than it should. Let's just say that. It happens
since
more than
the pandemic, it has been happening more.
Absolutely.
Okay. What improvements do you all, now with what you're seeing, what are some improvements that you all could recommend if you have any?
This is the thing, to say it or to verbalize it, it's not really going to make a difference because the circumstances are going to dictate how we move forward.
Right.
You could say, oh, more money is it's a lot. It's really a lot. And I don't know that it's too much more that we can really do because you're dealing with that human factor. So as long as you got that in there, it's not too much you can really do.
So in my world, now it's my world, okay? What I would like to see happen, 3 through 12, go virtual. Or maybe 4 through 12, go virtual, go home. And do the work from home. And K-2 or K-3 and special needs children, strides children, they take over the building, spread out. We utilize our universities, the seniors who are in education, and the high school students who have half days or are, in that situation where they have enough credits to graduate as IAs or pieces of the building, and work it like that.
That was creative. That was
Yeah.
creative.
Have you put that on paper? And well, it's out there now. That's your recommendation on how you feel they could do better or improve better. So have you put that on paper and giving it to the board or giving it to the union so somebody could actually may think about doing this? My whole thing is, if you don't start with but 1 or 2 schools, why not?
Sandy, you're the only person I bring my ideas to. So,
well, it's out there now.
You tend to make them come to fruition. So, I mean,
I used to, Renee. Remember, I am retired.
You're retired.
I am retired. But my
Sandy, guess what? You don't have to keep throwing that out there. You don't have to keep throwing that out there.
She does.
We got it. We got it.
Hey, what can I say? I'm just saying. There go Teresa again. She gave you some kudos.
Yeah.
But I do. My recommendation would be to you, Renee, is to put that on paper and submit it. You have, people in places that may be able to help make that decision. And like I said, you can even toss in the fact that it doesn't have to be the whole district, but you can start off with a portion of them right now and then implement it along the way, because it does appear that this thing is not going anywhere anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Heck, it's already January. Before you know it, they'll be graduating.
And even the thought of pairing some of the college students with some of the students that are virtual, if that's even possible, even if it's only for 30 minutes a day. You know what I mean? It's just a thought. I mean, nothing's written in stone, but it's something that can be presented to see, like, it's possible or definitely not. It's not possible.
Yeah, and Kelly, you in administration, that might be something you could take to Wynn Woods. Hey, that's what we do here at Tug Radio on Wind Down Wednesdays. We give y'all information we hope that you could use.
Yes. We appreciate you ladies and what you're doing.
Yeah, it's hard. It's got to be stressful. And I'm going to ask y'all this question too. Which one of y'all drinking more now than you did before?
I'm not drinking more, but I'm so eating more. This colon is a little slow.
Remember, you ain't got to answer that.
Yeah, you ain't got to answer that. So you COVID eating. Is that what you're saying, Kelly? You COVID eating. You better get up and stop eating all that, them cookies, bonbons, and tea and ice cream. That's all I'm saying. Carolyn said they just shipped packages for pre-K to take home. So here we go. Oh, one thing I will say is when the school shut down the last time, how do y'all think the feeding them lunch, how do y'all think that went? I know CPS did that. Did y'all do that, Kelly? Because
yes, we have nutrition. Nutrition is the mission. So there's a bus that we repurposed and set it up to deliver food all through the district, to those apartment complexes, to subdivisions. Anybody that needed food could get food. And we gave them like a power pack that could go for like 3 days at a time. So the kids were getting these big old bags, and then sometimes it was a box. I mean, the government has earmarked funds for that, because you got to remember, you have the government free lunch programs and all of that. That money is still there. The money is there, so it has to be used to feed kids. So,
yeah.
And I know, Renee, you saw Belinda, what she said. You got to submit it, because they are running out of ideas as far as what can be done with these students and these kids and the parents and you guys. They are running out of ideas. So somebody got to give them something else that they could possibly be doing. And I'm like, Kelly, you have to utilize the spaces that you're not using in order to make sure that you get everybody in a room together, that you can at least teach them, and you don't have 30. You don't have 30 kids in a room with the mask down below their nose. That's defeating the purpose. So I agree with that too. Yes, Carolyn, CPS did feed families last year, because I remember they used to drive, even in the summertime, they used to drive past and they used to get food at different schools. So, I mean, it's very difficult, and I know it's challenging. We want to say, and I want to say thank you.
Yes.
For all your hard work that you guys do, the stress that you are dealing with, because it's very stressful. That you got to do it at home, at school, and then you got to come home not knowing. My recommendation, before you get out your car in your garage, take off your clothes, go in the shower. That's all I'm saying. Tell the people to close their eyes when you walk past them, because you got to run to the shower. Them kids carry more germs than the darn hospital.
Teresa said some wine.
Hey, some wine. Teresa wants some wine. Teresa, you don't need to be drinking no wine, Teresa.
Well, it is wine down Wednesday.
It is wine down Wednesday. We want to say thank you.
Yes,
thank you, ladies.
So
and
you're welcome.
Appreciate you all. Definitely appreciate you all and what you do. It's very hard being an educator in this era.
And because you guys' scope is more than just education. Like, y'all people's parents out here, it's a lot. It's a whole lot.
And not only that, another thing that you all are dealing with is the mental illness that COVID has caused. Not only that, the suicides that are up with our children because of COVID. And you guys got to deal with that.
Yeah.
So that ain't hard. I mean,
the biggest thing that I've seen during this whole thing is the depression. Our children are depressed. They can't socialize the way they need to. They can't hug the way they need to. So it's the depression, anxiety is huge, because it's affecting education. It's affecting their education. It gets in their way. So unless you have professionals that are equipped to handle a child that is anxious or that is depressed, we're still not providing what they need. So
do they offer you guys therapy?
If you want it, yes, we have it. It's attached to your insurance.
Insurance, right? Your
I
insurance.
get that. Do they speak on it? Do they talk about it when you have those staff meetings? Do they say if you need help, talking? Because y'all know CPS don't, and most public schools don't talk about that stuff. They keep it all. You can handle it because you're grown.
Or there was a time where they when this first happened, that they talked about a lot, and then now the talks are starting to get more silent. Is that still the case for you guys, or you feel like they're still
just like with anything else? They're not going to beat the drum unless it's a crisis. They're not going to really push unless it's something going on. But mental health issues are there already in the community. So add that on top of the pandemic and what it's got to offer. So you got a lot going on. You really do. So everybody needs a checkup from the neck up every now and then. They really do. And a lot of us aren't willing to look at that person in the mirror and say, no, I'm not okay today. you want everybody to think you're okay, but you're not. You're not okay every day. And sometimes you got to be like, you know what? This monkey is sure enough on my back. You need to have a friend, a coworker, somebody that you can talk to, bounce it off of, just to get your head right sometimes. Because holding it in does you no good.
An accountability partner.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So you have access to those supports, but it's not somebody constantly saying, hey, don't forget you get the mental health visits, you get 3 visits to it. They don't. You, unless you call and ask, like, hey, I'm not quite right. Can somebody direct me? Oh, well, your insurance provides blah, 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 you know.
Yeah.
So,
we understand. So it ain't something that's tossed out there like a baseball, and you got to hit it.
Not at all.
So you just got to pick it up out of the haystack if you need it, unfortunately, which is because I think they need to talk about it more with you all. You don't have to express your whole entire feelings, but I think you should have at least a session where you can talk about something amongst each other in the form that I feel they should have, but that's just me. But anyway, we thank you guys for being here.
Yes, this is our part of our show. We like to do our positive quotes. So
you know I love y'all. Yes. You know I love y'all. I can always count on my peoples, my girls. We go back years. You know, it's like when I first moved here, Renee and I met years ago, and then coming up in the system of the educational system myself, I met Kelly through some other friends. So we've been knowing each other at least 25 plus years. So we go way back. We go way back. I mean, I got dirt on both of them, but I'm not telling. See, I was an angel.
Hey, that's another topic for another show.
Look, Kelly, so they ain't got nothing on me. But other than me being crazy, everybody know that and like to have fun. But thank you all for coming in and being
You're welcome. We hope. I'm glad we could help.
Yeah. I'm make sure you tell all the deacons, missionaries, saints, and friends that every Wednesday at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are here bringing you information. We hope this thing get better. The only thing that we can say is, be safe, mask up, wash your hands, take a bath, take a shower, shampoo your hair, do whatever you feel you got to do, not just for you, but everybody else that's around you. So At this point of our show, our ladies have to give a positive quote before we get up out of here. And Belinda said, good job, ladies.
Thank
you, Belinda. And Ronnie, Veronica, Miss Cotton.
What's your quote, Renee?
Oh, my Lord.
I was going to say, wait a minute, who the oldest? But you ain't got to spread that gossip. But who the oldest? The baby goes first then.
I don't know, because good black don't crack over here.
I'm older than Kelly.
Yeah.
Sure.
Kelly Roselle is younger than all us.
Well,
you younger than me. You younger than me.
Well, if you're younger than them, then you're definitely younger than me. So
I'm the baby.
Yeah, it must be.
Just be the change that you want to see. Just be the change that you want to see.
That's it.
Yes, girl.
Your turn, Renee.
Your turn, Renee.
Drop the mic. Boom.
Okay. So this isn't necessary. I don't think it's a quote, but just people out there know that we will be in prayer and continue to extend grace and patience and understanding to you and your babies.
And mine is from Kate Morton. Again, we thank you ladies for coming on and educating us. That's what we do here at Tuck Radio. Mine is going to be, you make a life out of what you have, not what you're missing.
Y'all hear that?
Make a life out of what you have, not what you're missing.
And you shouldn't be missing nothing if you got life. What? Did you hear what I said? You shouldn't miss nothing if you have life. And y'all know me, positive in is positive out.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know what else I say. It's always better. And this is the God's honest truth. It's always better to give. Your blessings come from giving and not being stingy. So remember that. We thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hey, y'all be back next week. I'm telling who we might have.
Yes, next week.
Hey, thanks, ladies. Look at her throwing it up. Anybody ask you all?
Are we off?
Did she want us to log out?
I don't know how to do it.
Tub?